our 8:30 high beam, and we are welcoming in this morning Terry Henry from the local chapter 1077 of the EAA. And so with that in mind, Terry, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate that. Did you fly in today? You did.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
So tell us, first of all, what does EAA stand for, and what is the organization? What's the purpose of that organization, I guess?
We're a 501c3 nonprofit group at the airport, and it's an educational facility. We do things for middle school kids, and oh gosh, I've had little tiny kids, Latinos come in, but it's an educational facility really for adults and kids as well.
And so that stands for Experimental Aviation
Aircraft Association.
Oh, Aircraft Association.
Yeah.
So these are maybe aircraft, single engine, and different kinds of things that we wouldn't normally see at the international airport, right?
Yeah, we put on the biggest air show in the world at Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Actually land 3 aircraft at a time on the runway at one time.
Wow, that sounds like some pretty good pilots.
There's 3 dots on the runway, and they tell everybody you have to land on the blue dot, the green dot, or the red dot.
That's amazing. Well, something that we wanted to talk about today, and we brought you in. I've got this nice flyer here that says, "Dine with the Wright brothers on September 17th over at Harry Clever Field in New Philadelphia." Now, first of all, I thought the Wright brothers were long gone. So what's this all about?
They certainly are. We've brought in 2 NASA employees. One's retired aeronautical engineer, Tom Benson, and the other's an educator for NASA, Roger Storm. So they talk. It's an evening meal, $25. We invite the public to come down and enjoy an evening with the Wright brothers. They talk like it's 1910, can answer all your questions. They banter back and forth, even make it humorous, as the Wright brothers actually did as well.
That's incredible. So they've obviously done study on that, and that's part of their expertise. So when this event comes up again on September 17th, the airport, those 2 will be talking about a time when the first flight has been made, but they're still in the stages of trying to improve things, correct?
Absolutely. So there's several other people involved in it as well that we have. The Wright brothers actually changed fashion in 1910 in France, women's clothing. So you'll see a gal with a hobble skirt on that a fashion designer seen them tie a rope around her bottom of her dress so it didn't fly up, and they took her for a ride. So all of a sudden I'm going brain dead.
No, that's all right. I also saw that we've seen pictures. We have pictures of the aircraft at Kitty Hawk and some others in that era. And there's also an actor who portrays the photographer. Is that right?
Yeah, John T. Daniels. He was one of the life-saving crew there, and we're going to have somebody representing John that took the iconic picture that we are all familiar with of the Wright brothers taking off as well. So there's a lot of entertainment, a lot of fun stuff, and highly recommend it if you got anybody's interested in aviation. To send us, it's $25 a person. Send a check to EAA Chapter 1077, Box 1, New Philadelphia, Ohio 44663, and we'll get you seated. Be sure and send a phone number so that we can confirm your tickets, because I'm telling you right now, this will sell out very quickly in about a week or so.
And because for another thing, there are only 125 available, right?
Exactly.
So, go ahead.
You will sit in this group with them up on a little bit of a stage, but you'll sit right directly underneath a 1911 glider that they built. It's a replica, of course, but a very interesting airplane, and is why they built it. There's a long story behind that. So come down and learn all about the Wright brothers. It's a fun evening. It's a rare evening. This won't happen again. I almost can guarantee it.
Wow. Because
these guys age. They dress up in costume and everything.
So we go back. It's 1910.
Yeah.
As far as the local chapter, obviously you guys are putting it on. You're spearheading the organization. I think I called you the Wright Flight Coordinator.
Chairman, yeah.
How many people are involved in the chapter locally here?
Over 100, between 160 and 170 all total, yeah.
And so will some of them be around, involved? And
I'm sure that they will. There will be. Certainly not 170. I hope not, because we're going to run out of seating. We get a huge because of Dennis in 2015. A lot of people from the public, and so we try to, proportion everything so there's not a lot of membership there.
It's an interesting story. I mean, we all know about the first flight and that sort of thing, but the Wright brothers were so, as we talked ahead of time before going on here, so far ahead of their time in ideas and things that they did. They invented the wind tunnel, which is incredible in my eyes. And you said they were trying to perfect wings that would automatically adjust to the wind, which wasn't really possible at that time.
Absolutely, come back to level, and that's the 1911 Wright glider that you'll sit underneath. Orville died in 1912, but in 1911 they went back to Kitty Hawk, and they tried to come up with an automatic wing levelers. Well, a pilot can automatically do that, but for it to be automatic, you have to have electronics to do that. So talk about way ahead of their time.
Yeah, those are things that that no one had ever thought about before at all. No. How long is the program with Tom and Roger? Because I think that, I could probably listen to that for a long time.
Yeah, and it kind of depends on the audience and their questions and so forth. Certainly it would be at least an hour, but it could go to an hour and a half or even more. But most generally about an hour to hour and a half, and go from there.
So again, that's not coming up until September 17th, but tickets are on sale now. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely.
So you're going to want to get those right away. Yeah. Like I said, only $125. Yep. You call it entertainment along with education too. So it does have some laughs, but gosh, you'll go home with a head full of info, and I'm sure you'll be able to learn more about the EAA Chapter 1077.
Yeah, any profit, which is going to be very minimal on this, but any profit will go towards one of our educational programs that I'd certainly like to promote here today even a little bit. It's called Wright Flight, W-R-I-G-H-T. It's a 9-week course that Jack Timken, the Timken Company, brought to us over 12 years ago. So we've run hundreds of kids through this. Parents have come back. It's 2 hours a week. It'll start in January, so contact me, and certainly in December if you have a student that's interested. It's an educational, motivational, and guidance course for kids. I thought 6th, 7th, 8th grade kids was too young to start taking a course like this. Trust me, it is not. After 12 years of doing it, parents have come back and told us that it was a life changer, and it's only 2 hours a week. The kids sit in a class just like they do in school. The hook to get kids to take it is they get to fly an airplane for about 45 minutes at the end of the 9 weeks. So it's just a phenomenal course. My instructors, I had instructors we were using, and they've done it for 12 years, and they said, "Can we take a break?" And I'm like, I was really frustrated because where do you find more qualified instructors? Well, guess what? 2 30-year retired U.S. Air Force mechanics volunteered. Christians, and they are phenomenal. We do one evening with young girls it's all about women in aviation. We get 35% young girls take the course. Well, I got a friend that's Alan Pretorius, that's a corporate citation jet pilot. So she agreed to teach the women in aviation night as well. So it's the kids love it. It's really fun. On flight day, they show up with their grandparents, their brothers and sisters. I think we had like 70-some people there that were not associated with the course. On June 11th, I think it was, they actually flew.
That is phenomenal. Hey, I see you do have some flyers. Where could somebody get information on the, all the things that are available for the students?
Yeah, stop in on Saturday mornings between 8 or 9 and at least noon, and you can pick up a brochure there. We don't even have these in the thing at the airport. I should put some down there. You just reminded me.
Okay.
We fill up the class really fast because we only do about 25 students at a time. So we've done 1 and 2 classes a year. And that's why we had hundreds and hundreds of students. But like I say, I see parents at Walmart, wherever, and they'll say it was a life changer. We give out scholarships. We've got 2 young ladies we give out scholarships to that are now air traffic controllers. One at Fort Worth, Dallas. One in Pennsylvania. We give a young man that wanted to become an airline mechanic. He is now working for an airline up at Akron Canton Airport.
That's great. We're talking to Terry Henry from the local chapter of the EAA. So once again, Dine with the Wright brothers, September 17th, 5:30 to 8:30 at Harry Clever Field on East High Avenue in New Philadelphia. $25. You get to eat, and then you become educated. Give us that phone number one more time so that we know.
Yeah, give
how to
me
get
a
tickets.
call, Terry Henry, 330-340-2999.
All right, it's going to fill up because only 125 can get in. Terry, thanks a lot. It's very interesting to talk to you and talk about the organization. So,
Well, thanks for inviting me.
how about if we have you back later in the year before that other class starts? Think we can do that?
Absolutely.
Right. We'll plan on that.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again. That is Terry Henry, who is, we're going to call him the Wright Flight Coordinator for the local chapter of the EAA. Our guest this morning on the 830 High Beam here on the BT Morning Show.